Well, how's things? Just wanted to get this video up and posted as soon as possible. Just gonna get it off my chest and let this scenario be known to everyone. Obviously I'm sitting here in my red Opel Corsa, Lamborghini, you know yourselves. But yeah, look, to be straight to the point, obviously you would have seen the title of the video and what's going on. I'll do my best to not waffle and be straight to the point in this video. There's something on my head there, it's a shadow. But yeah, look, be straight about it. As you would have seen, I am no longer competing or planning to compete at the show at the end of this year. The show was supposed to be November 9th, but due to some unforeseen circumstances, that is no longer happening, as of confirmed today. But yeah, it's hard to explain. There's a few different reasons that are kind of interlinked as to why it's not happening. The primary one is health, okay? To give you some background, a part of my family, you might call it genetic, hereditary, whatever the term is, part of that is there's a few people in my family who have polycystic kidneys or just kidney problems in general, and it can be quite bad, okay? So about 10 months ago, I went out to see a specialist, and like the operating function, now take this at a pinch of salt, the operating function of my kidneys was down to, what's he say, 68 to 72%, something like that. But that was for a 22-year-old, which is quite poor. So obviously the operating function of my kidneys had already reduced. Being 22 years of age, it wasn't looking good, right? Of course, me being young and naive, I know I'm talking like as if I'm old. I'm fucking 23 now. But yeah, look, they were reduced at that time anyways, okay? Coincidentally, I went back in recently and they're down even further. So now, I won't go into exact details, but long story short, my kidneys are slowly but surely deteriorating. And for anybody who doesn't know, severe dieting can only make that worse. So you could have, I think it's AKD, is it? Acute kidney disease, something like that, or something like that. I can't remember the exact term that was told, fucking doctor terms. But of course, AKA polycystic kidneys, what I have a higher risk of. And of course, it'll affect people more who have a genetic issue with it, aka me and the rest of my family. And I was thinking to myself, okay, like, for the past few weeks, I have been noticing certain symptoms that I have been kind of just shrugging off and turning a blind eye to, which, when I say it out loud, it sounds stupid. I'm like, why am I even doing that? But then when I think of it, only the other day I came to the realization, I was like, right, do I actually want to compete long term? What is my goals? And I know what my own long term goals are. And right, if the answer to that isn't bodybuilding, if it isn't bodybuilding or competing competitively, then why would I continue to put my own health at risk in doing so? Is one amateur show, I was asking myself, is one amateur show worth damaging my health even further? And I know myself, I know me, if I was planning to continue on with bodybuilding and make it like a career as such, I know I probably would have grinded through. And I was kind of saying to myself, oh yeah, sure, I've been prepped, you're expected some things to take a hit, like, you know, health wise. But it just sounds stupid. So I came to the realization that, look, for me, if bodybuilding isn't something I want to pursue long term, and if I have a genetic problem with my kidneys that can only be hurt more by continuing on in this path, I don't think it makes sense to continue on whilst doing it. Now, in saying that, I am still going to do the photo shoot, but obviously a photo shoot, look, I'm not underestimating a photo shoot, please don't take it like that, if anyone who has done a photo shoot. But a photo shoot just doesn't need to be as aggressive from a dieting perspective compared to a show. Obviously, it's common sense. So I am still going to do the photo shoot. I am going to document that. Aside from the health side of it, okay, there is, I don't really like to talk about this, but anybody who knows me personally will know the whole clothing brand scenario. Wolf Hunt is in the middle of being closed down, and whilst you're closing down a limited company, there is a lot of bullshit that goes with that. Just a lot of shit. Okay, I won't go into exact details to bore you with the details. And with that comes a lot of stress, both mental and financial stress, to be honest with you. And I think it's also me giving bodybuilding and myself the respect to know, right, if I can't give it absolutely everything that I have, it's not fair. No, it's not fair to me, like, because I want to be able to give it everything and bring my best to stage on the day. But I know me as well. I'm not one to have to do something, and if I do it, I do it. And if I can't give it fucking everything, I won't want to do it. And I know myself. I've been kind of training. I've been training away the past 2 or 3 weeks, and I've noticed my head. I'm just not in it. There's too many things between health and what I was going on about Wolf Hunt and the company trying to close it down, there's too many things in my head and I can't fully commit myself to everything. Not that anything has slipped, my dieting is pretty much fucking spot on, but my training is slipping, I'll be real, and my head is just a million miles away. And look, I was talking to Caitlin, to be fair, has been really good this with me, before I had this only confirmed today about the health side of it and kidneys and whatnot, right? I was kind of thinking, look, I can just grind through this. I could get over the business side of it and dealing with mental stress. I could get over that. I was talking to Caitlin about it, and I was having these thoughts a few weeks ago. I was like, am I actually going to be able to follow through with this? And it was Caitlin who said it to me. She was just like, long story short, tell me fucking shut up, stop being a pussy and get through it. Which I appreciate that, and that's what I needed, and that's what I was like, alright, I'm just going to knuckle down. It's only a few weeks left in this prep, was it 12 weeks, get through it, like, and then we can start everything after that. So I had that, and I eventually accepted, look, I'm just going to get through the rest of this prep and then we'll sort it afterwards. But then when you add that stress onto what I found out now today, but health at the same time, I'm like, alright, okay, is this it, like, you know? And yeah, I came to the decision that I don't think it makes sense. Hopefully you can understand it. Surely, I don't know, you have your own opinions. Maybe some people will tell me to grind through it. That's obviously up to yourself. But personally, for me, it's not worth the health risk that it's going to do. Obviously, like I said, being a genetic thing in my family, it's just not to me, it's not worth making it worse. Like, the way I see it is, like I said, if I was pursuing bodybuilding long term and I was going to do it, I'd probably grind through it and then just focus on my health after the show. But I want to have a fucking kidney. Like, to me, I'm like, is one amateur show worth putting my risk or putting my health at further risk? No, it's not. It sounds, when I say it out loud, it sounds fucking stupid. So yeah, that is the scenario with that. Like I said, I'm still going to do the photo shoot. I'm still going to finish out this diet and prep. Obviously, it doesn't need, again, not underestimating the photo shoot, it just doesn't need to be as aggressive. Before I start waffling, this is something I wanted to say to the people who've only started to follow me recently. I think if you were to look at my YouTube and look at the content I've been posting, especially about like prep and bodybuilding in general, do you know that Homer Simpson meme where he walks into the pub, whistles and walks straight back out the door? It may seem like that because that's, for someone who doesn't know me, doesn't know the exact scenario I'm in, it seems like I only started documenting, I'm in this prep, is it about 10, 12 weeks now, give or take. It's been a relatively long prep, and it would have been like a 20 to 22 week prep in total, which is quite long for the majority of people. My coach, obviously, we had never done a prep together befefore, so he didn't know how I'd respond, how well I'd adhere to the diet, which I completely understand. So that's why it was longer, and I also had a few things in between. I went to Dubai, I had my brother's wedding, the stag beforehand, so we had a few things taken into account that, right, we're going to need the extra time anyways. But yeah, I am, just for myself and like the plan of action going forward, I'm still going to be posting a lot of content. I do have a change of plan in the direction of training that I may consider going forward. I think this might be something got to do with bodybuilding preps. I've seen this happen to a few people recently. I won't go into too much detail soon. Like, I'm still going to be doing my usual bodybuilding style of training for the most part, but there's another style of training that I think I want to incorporate. You can nearly have a fucking guess what that may be in 2025. But yeah, that's another area of my life I want to pursue, and I think now once this prep is over, it's going to be a lot of life gains, focusing on my content as well. What I'm saying now, they're still going to see more of me still doing the same thing. I like to rephrase that and say you're going to see more of me, because now that, not the prep, obviously I'm still in prep, but once the kind of photo shoot prep is out of the way, I want to go heavy on the personal side of my content, and not so much, like, if anybody's been following me on Instagram, you would know that the vast majority of content I post is educational, and I have kind of found that to be a bit mundane. It's like, you're just like every other fitness creator on Instagram. This is how to do this is how to do X, Y, and Z. And this is kind of why I like YouTube as well. It's just raw. This is me. I think on Instagram is people know Keane the coach, but at least with my YouTube it's like, this is Keane, you're actually talking to me now, or at least you're looking at me through a screen. But it's much more personal, and that's the more, obviously I'm still gonna be posting educational content, but this is the route I would like to go anyways. Again, like I said, I still doing educational, but a lot more personal stuff anyways. Look, like I said, I'll try not to ramble. I won't go off at a tangent here. But yeah, I hope you understand my reasoning, or if you don't, obviously it's your own opinion. But yeah, to me, this makes the most amount of sense, whilst it fucking breaks my heart that I won't step on stage, and it is something that I always wanted to do. I think with everything I have going on right now, both from the stress side of it, the health side of it, and the opportunities I have from a business perspective, it makes the most amount of sense when you weigh everything up. Okay. But yeah, that's it. I hope this all makes sense to you. If you liked the video, like and subscribe. Obviously, it does not do much this video other than my story. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening. All the best.